Welcome to a special different Crime Clueless. We're your hosts. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Kayla.
Today we're doing a haunting case. So we're going to get spooky.
So Jenna's trying to make it so I don't sleep anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
If that's the case, I'm showing up at your door at 2 a.m.
Okay.
Just be prepared.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We're covering a case that has stuck with me since I first heard about it, and I kind of want to go there.
Okay.
It's only in California.
Where is it?
It's in San Jose,
Okay.
so not too far from us.
No, that's not bad.
No. All right. Picture this. It's a sprawling mansion. It has twisting hallways, doors that open to brick walls, staircases leading to nowhere.
This is quintessential horror movie.
Exactly. And windows that overlook other rooms in the house.
That's weird.
Yeah, this house is a total maze and crazy mysterious.
This makes me think of that episode of How I Met Your Mother. Ted goes to the meeting and they're like, this is a
Yes.
horror house. You can't design a horror house.
No,
Or
you
a murder
can't.
house."
A murder house. That's what it was with the basement.
Yeah, where he
Oh.
does his laundering.
Yeah, that reminded me of H.H. Holmes' murder house, which we'll cover too. Because that's for real exactly like that.
Yeah.
This house was built by a woman named Sarah Winchester. You know the name Winchester? Like the rifles?
I only know Winchester from Supernatural. That's my first thought. I maybe know who you're talking about, but I'm just we're talking spooky. I'm thinking Supernatural.
Gotcha. You know what? I like that, actually. This is Sarah Winchester, whose family was responsible for Winchester guns, rifles, everything.
Oh, so like real people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, real people.
Sorry.
She was told by a medium that she's cursed. She was told the spirits of those killed by your family's invention will haunt you forever unless you keep building.
What?
Yeah, this is not the plot of a horror movie, even though Hollywood has tried multiple times, right?
Of course.
This is the real story of Sarah Winchester and her infamous mansion.
Okay.
We can start at the beginning. To understand the Winchester Mystery House, you need to understand the woman behind it. Sarah Lockwood Winchester was born pretty well off in 1839. She was bright, she was smart, she spoke multiple languages, she excelled in music and moved around all the high society circles. Her life took a fateful turn when she married William Winchester, who was heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company.
So why was she the one who was cursed?
That's a good question.
Shouldn't her husband be the one that's cursed?
Maybe she married him knowingly and
Okay.
he was just born into it. I don't know. It's said that their marriage, by all accounts, was happy, but beneath the surface, tragedy always. They had a daughter, Annie, who was born in 1866. She only lived for 6 weeks. She had a rare illness called marasmus.
I've
Sarah,
never heard of that.
marasmus is severe malnutrition,
Oh, that's too bad.
which is probably why I can say it. But having it come on that early in her life, they just weren't able, and it was 1866.
Right.
Sarah never recovered from losing Annie, which is so devastating and heartbreaking.
I would never recover either.
And then just 15 years later, her husband died from tuberculosis in 1881.
Oh,
So Sarah was a widow. She didn't have her daughter. She was alone. And she had an immense fortune from marrying into this family. She had more money than she could ever possibly spend in a lifetime, even though she tried. According to legend, Sarah sought solace in spiritualism, a movement that was sweeping the nation at the time.
Okay.
It promised communication with the dead, and Sarah, desperate for answers, found herself seeking out these mediums.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
One gave her the chilling prophecy. Her family's fortune was stained with blood, and the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles would haunt her until the end of her days.
That's terrifying.
The medium gave her hope, in air quotes, if you want to call it that. The medium claimed that Sarah could appease the restless souls by building. As long as she kept constructing a home, the spirits would leave her at peace.
What?
If she stopped building, the haunting would begin anew.
Okay, my question. So it sounds like she built just like onto this mansion, but like, could she have just started building like basically like subdivisions, just like building?
Oh, there you go. I think the medium wasn't that clear.
Okay.
She went with it. Just one house, her own house that she was just going to build.
I mean, granted, it was, 1800, so I doubt they were building like subdivisions, but I'm just like,
True.
She just kept building like new houses.
Yeah. I actually had not thought of that, which is why I need you.
Comes with my line of work, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. She decided to build the house as big as she wanted. She'd need like a lot of land.
Yeah.
So she moved west to San Jose, California, where she began building. The construction started in 1884, and from that point on, it never stopped. Guess how long it went for?
60 years.
Oh, 38.
Oh.
But that was a good guess.
I'm so bad at this game. Why do you make me guess?
I've got more guesses for you today, too.
Every time.
You were actually pretty close on the Tylenol murders. Yeah. But I was off, so we'll take turns.
Okay.
So for 38 years, carpenters worked day and night, guided by Sarah's mysterious instructions. There were no blueprints, no architects, just whatever she wanted, her whims, her ideas, and the spirits who whispered in her ear. So the result was a sprawling, chaotic masterpiece of confusion.
That sounds pretty cool. Like, I want to go see this too.
So, okay, get this. There are staircases that end at the ceiling.
What?
There are doors that open to 2-story drops. There are windows built into the floors. And the number 13 appears everywhere.
Why?
13 windows in one room, 13 steps in a staircase, 13 hooks in a closet.
That's interesting because 13 is supposed to be unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
So why is 13 everywhere in this house? Do they ever say?
So another thing about Sarah is she never talked about it. She never gave interviews. She never wrote in journals, diaries, which makes it even more haunting and mysterious.
That's wild.
I know, right? So we're going to dig into this house. We'll dig into the myths and everything. By the time of Sarah's death in 1922, the house had grown. It was 24,000 square feet.
Whoa.
160 rooms.
What?
10,000 windows.
10,000 windows?
Can you imagine cleaning that?
No.
47 staircases. And it even had 2 ballrooms.
Okay. How many of the staircases actually went somewhere and how many of the staircases just went nowhere?
A lot went nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And because Sarah never gave interviews or even kept a journal or a diary, the silence fuels speculation.
Yeah, of course.
We know that she was haunted, but some say not just by spirits, but by grief.
Yeah.
That staying busy, losing her daughter and her husband.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The history of this house, you'll find stories constantly through workers, through people who visit. Now it's open to the public. You can go tour it. And there are great stories from that too. People talk about seeing ghostly figures, cold spots that then follow you through the house, footsteps that echo through empty halls. Staff members and visitors alike have reported unexplainable phenomenons.
So we're going to do a field trip?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crime Clueless in the wild?
I love it. Yes, we are. We can find a man who's in workman's clothes that roams the basement, tools in hand. You could see doors that open and close on their own. Sometimes you can hear the sound of a piano being played when no one is even near the music room.
What? No, that would be so spooky.
Right? The piano really hit me
Yeah.
when I read that.
I mean, obviously seeing a person would freak you out, but I mean, maybe it's a real person, maybe not, but just hearing music coming from nowhere.
Right? Just soft piano music.
That's so creepy.
So
I love it.
Yes. So now employees that work there leave offerings of flowers and notes for Sarah because they think it helps keep her spirit at peace.
Yeah.
They think she's still there.
I mean, probably.
Paranormal investigators have flocked to the house for decades, attempting to separate myth from reality. Some claim to have captured electronic voice phenomena, voices calling out for Sarah or warning visitors to leave. Others have experienced sudden, unexplainable feelings of dread in certain rooms. One investigator visiting the séance room, which is just this small windowless chamber.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
The séance room, meaning that this is a designated séance room. Was it a designated séance room that she made, or has it become that in the years prior?
She made, and she went to every night to communicate with the spirits on what to do the next day.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
It's this small windowless chamber that's hidden in the really deep part of the house that's hard to get to. People report a chilling sensation and they feel like they're being watched, like dozens of eyes are fixed on you when you're in there.
That's so creepy.
Yeah. So let's talk about the building.
Okay.
So when she arrived in 1884, she purchased an 8-room farmhouse on 161 acres of land.
Okay. So wait, 16 rooms.
8 rooms on 8 rooms on 161 acres of farmland.
Sorry. Okay.
No, you're good. So at first it seemed like a really modest choice for someone that had all the money in the world. Almost immediately, Sarah hired a crew of carpenters and began her expansion project. Workers worked constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, most of the time. And again, there were no architects, there were no plans, and there was no end in sight.
So she would just say, okay, today we're going to build some stairs.
Yeah, they took orders directly from Sarah, who seemed to make her design ideas just from her seance room the night before. She would say, I want a hallway here, I want a staircase there. She would tear down an entire room that was built and rebuild a different room with a hallway or something else. Legend has it, like I said, that she communicated with the spirits of those killed by the Winchester rifles during her nightly seances. She used a planchette, which is a tool associated with spirit communication. She would receive...
Is that kind of like a Ouija board?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She would receive instructions for the next day's building. Whether or not you believe in the supernatural, it's hard to deny the patterns that emerged in the house's construction.
What do you mean the patterns?
So many rooms have secret passageways, hidden doors, or peepholes, which suggests that Sarah wanted to move through the house unseen or to avoid being followed.
Oh, okay. So like trying to avoid the spirits that are there.
Mm-hmm. There are doors that lead to sheer drops, like 2 stories down when you open the door. There are stairs that spiral basically endlessly. And like I said, the windows that are placed in the oddest locations, like in the floor of a room.
Is this a window looking down into like the basement or just like into the dirt? Like,
yeah, both.
Okay.
Both. Because there were some that looked into the room next to it. There were some that looked to the room below it. And there were some that just was a window with flooring under it.
What?
Yeah. Then the number 13, she was obsessed with it. There were chandeliers she brought in that were modified to hold 13 windows, or that were modified to hold 13 candles. She made the windows feature 13 window panes. The greenhouse had 13 cupolas, and she just kept going with the number 13.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's never been an explanation for 13.
Nope, because no interviews. She just wanted 13 in everything.
Interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if, sorry, 13 is just always associated with bad luck.
Right. No 13th floor.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems interesting to me that there would be 13 everywhere when she's trying to avoid a curse.
Right. I almost wonder if she's including it to appease the spirits because it is
probably.
That. Yeah. Like they are making her put it in.
I'm sure it's something that they told her, but it seems interesting to me.
I agree. By the time she was done building this house, she had over 2,000 doors. and the other things that we had mentioned, but also 6 miles of hallways.
6 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Can you imagine how long that would take to build now?
I mean,
Yeah.
it would still take years.
Agreed. Yeah. Some suggest the constant building was a coping mechanism. Others believe it was fear, pure and simple, driving her to create a home that could confuse and outwit the spirits she believed were chasing her. Even after her death, no one could make sense of the house. There were no blueprints, no master plan, no clear explanation for why certain rooms exist. Architects who examine the house call it a masterpiece of chaos.
I love that.
I do too. Isn't that the best term?
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did people live in the house afterwards, or did it end up just kind of becoming like a museum type thing?
Actually, I know it's a museum now. Let me see. So after Sarah died, nobody lived in the house. She had left no direct heir to take over the house.
Mm-hmm.
The furniture and belongings were removed and sold by her niece, who was the executor of her estate. The house was not included in her will, so it was eventually sold. It was purchased in 1923, and that same year, it was opened to the public as a tourist attraction. So it's been open to the public for over 100 years now.
That's so bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Imagine being one of those carpenters hired in the late 1800s to work on this estate owned by this reclusive widow. And your job is just to build, rebuild, tear down, rebuild again.
Steady work. That's nice.
That's true. All the work you could ever want. It sounds like, by all accounts, she had a good relationship with her crew. She rarely spoke to her workers directly, but she maintained an almost omnipresent authority over the project. She would write detailed instructions and diagrams, delivering them to the foreman each morning. No explanations, no context. The workers would follow it day in, day out.
I would have so many questions.
Mm-hmm.
I would have such a hard time not being like, okay, ma'am, what are we doing here?
Right. And there were no answers. I think a lot of days they didn't even see her.
Yeah. I mean, you probably
So
get to
huge.
a certain point and you're like, all right, let's just see what we're doing today.
Yeah. It'd be almost like interesting, like a game.
Yeah.
So there were rumors workers would whisper about the nightly seances and speculate about why Sarah was so adamant that construction never stopped. One story tells about a carpenter who asked Sarah why she wanted a particular staircase to end at the ceiling. She allegedly looked him in the eye and said, "It's not for you to understand."
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't ask questions.
No, we don't. We don't judge. We don't ask questions.
I love that trend.
I know, me too. It makes me laugh every time. I'm too scared to play it though.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to play. No, but I just, I don't know. I understand after you've been working there for a long time, like, all right, this is just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have a hard time at first, not just wanting to know everything that's going on.
Same.
And did she live there alone?
Yeah.
Okay, so she did
Well, not alone. There were workers there 24/7.
Well,
But yes, she lived alone. She never remarried.
she did the nightly seances just by herself? Or did she have like
Yeah.
a medium that came in?
No, it was just her talking to those spirits.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
as one does.
Yeah.
You do you.
The workers said that Sarah seemed to care deeply for them. She would sometimes deliver coffee or meals, especially to those working late at night or during holidays. It's reported that she gave out generous bonuses. There's even story about her hosting a small celebration for her crew when a particularly difficult section of the house was completed.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
nice.
at least if you're going to be there all day, every day.
At least you have a nice boss.
Right, right.
Makes it better.
Workers said that she had an uncanny attention to detail. She would inspect each completed section of the house and wasn't afraid to order entire rooms to be redone if they didn't meet her vision.
I'm curious in this day and age if it would pass inspection.
Absolutely not. No. No.
Not quite up to code.
Yeah, we probably can't get another house like this.
Unfortunate.
I know, right? It said that not every worker stayed loyal. Some would grow frustrated with the endless changes and left the project altogether. They would call Sarah eccentric and even unstable. Some claimed to have quit after they witnessed strange occurrences while working on the house. Tools that disappeared, cold drafts in sealed rooms, the feeling of being watched when no one was around. One worker allegedly told his family, "It's not just her building this house. There are others, things we can't see, telling her what to do."
Okay, I understand leaving because you're freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
But like to leave because you're upset with all the changes and stuff, shouldn't you just be happy? Like, oh, here's consistent work.
I mean, I would, but right. Should we talk about the seance room?
Yes, please.
Okay. This room is hidden, like I said, deep within the mansion's labyrinth of hallways and staircases. And it was said to be Sarah's private sanctuary, a place where, according to legend, she sought guidance from the spirits who haunted her. This room was also called the Blue Room by some. It's surprisingly small and unassuming. It's just 9 feet by 9 feet.
That's pretty small.
Simple. The walls are painted a deep, calming blue. It's supposed to create this almost otherworldly atmosphere.
Yeah.
A single table sits in the center, surrounded by 13 hooks.
Of course.
Where Sarah hung her seance robes. And in the middle of the
Robes,
table,
plural?
her planchette. 13 robes.
Did she like rotate?
Almost 2 weeks worth.
Okay.
Yeah.
You deal.
Yeah. According to those who worked on the house, Sarah would retreat to the seance room every night at midnight. Alone, she would light a single candle, sit at the table, and close her eyes. Some say she used the planchette to spell out messages from the spirits, while others claimed she merely meditated, waiting for the voices to come to her. According to legend, the spirits guided her construction plans. They told her which rooms to build, which ones had to be torn down, and how to arrange the house to keep them at bay. It has one entrance to the seance room, but 3 exits.
Wait. I'm sorry, 1 entrance, but 3 exits? How do the exits not also be entrances?
It says that 2 of them were concealed doors that only Sarah knew how to operate.
Okay.
And one of the secret doors led to a drop into the kitchen below.
Oh.
Almost like a means of escape.
Okay. Interesting.
I think the other one, you could come in easily without any of that extra layer of protection, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. Stories from the seance room are chilling. One worker claimed he was walking past the room late at night when he heard Sarah's voice speaking in hushed tones as if carrying on a conversation. When he entered to check on her, the room was empty. No Sarah, no candle, nothing.
Wait, Sarah wasn't even in there?
No.
What?
Another worker described hearing soft knocking sounds coming from within the room, even when no one was inside.
That's crazy.
Visitors who go to the house today report feeling uneasy in the seance room. Some say they have heard faint whispers. They feel sudden drops in temperature. Others claim they've seen the candle on the table flicker, even though there's no breeze. Paranormal investigators have captured unexplained orbs of light, and they describe ghostly voices saying, "Keep building."
What? Yeah, I would leave.
Yeah. It's so crazy. Okay, do you want to talk about the door to nowhere?
I sure do.
Okay. Among all the oddities in the house, there are few that are as famous or as puzzling as the door to nowhere. You are walking through the house, turning a corner, and coming upon a door that, if opened, leads to nothing but thin air. A door suspended above a sheer drop into the garden below.
Why? Well, yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Why am I asking?
It's located on the second floor of the house. It opens outward, revealing a drop of several feet to the ground. There's no balcony, no steps, just empty space. And the question, of course, is why?
Yeah.
Why? Some say it was a mistake, although I don't think there were many mistakes because she had so much attention to detail.
I don't think anything in there can be a mistake when nothing is.
When it's all so chaotic.
Exactly.
Right.
If it's all just chaos, then everything is correct.
Right. I agree. I agree with that. I don't think it was an oversight. And there are a lot that agree with us. They say it was intentional. It was a way to confuse the spirits that Sarah believed were chasing her.
Yeah. I mean,
a decoy to send them literally out into the void.
Yeah. That checks out.
Visitors and staff have reported seeing the door move on its own, creaking open as if inviting them to step through. One guide claimed that during a quiet afternoon tour, she heard a distinct knock coming from the door. When she opened it, there was nothing but the empty drop below. because you couldn't knock on it. It's up.
No,
on the
obviously, unless
second
someone's
floor.
like scaling the building.
Right. Or throwing rocks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Some believe the door is symbolic, like it could represent Sarah's own feelings of loss and uncertainty, a physical manifestation of the emptiness she felt after losing her husband and her child. Maybe a metaphor for the unanswered questions and unfinished business that haunted her.
So sad.
Adding to the mystery is the fact that the door to nowhere isn't the only one of its kind in the house. There are also windows that look into other rooms, staircases that lead to ceilings, and the hallways that are just to a dead end.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd get lost in there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, 6 miles. That's a lot.
Keep forgetting that. That's so many.
So big. There's also a staircase to nowhere. When you go up the staircase, the air grows colder and then you hit the ceiling.
So it just like goes to like
All
the
the way
corner?
to the ceiling. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And of course, how many steps does it have?
13.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The staircase looks functional, like it's crafted with really pretty woodwork. It has intricate details, which you find in the whole house. It's very, very beautiful. But as you climb, it abruptly ends at a blank ceiling. And again, no explanation.
Huh.
Some believe, just like the door to nowhere, that it was designed to confuse the spirits, leading them in circles or trapping them at a dead end.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
What floor is the staircase located on? Like, is there rooms above it, or is it like on the top floor and it just goes to like where the roof is?
The staircase is located on the second floor and goes up. It's only 2 floors in the mansion. So It starts at the second floor, it goes up to the roof, essentially, the ceiling.
Maybe it was another way for her to try and get them like out of the house, but there was no window or door ever put in.
I'm surprised there's not like a window.
Yeah, me too.
Up there. Yeah. Visitors describe a strange sensation while climbing the stairs. They feel disoriented and like they're being watched. Tour guides report hearing faint footsteps when they're showing guests the staircase, and then they'll turn around and no one's there.
That would freak me out.
Same.
If I go to this house, I'm going in the middle of the day.
Absolutely. Can you imagine going like at midnight when she used to have her seances?
No chance.
No. Let's see. Do you want to talk about the basement next?
Of course.
Of course. So I guess it's 3 levels, but 2 that are up. And then they have the 3rd in the basement. The basement is the darkest and most mysterious corner of all.
Shocking.
Buried deep down. And it's long been a source of fascination and fear. It's cold, it's damp, and it's unnervingly quiet, with shadows that seem to stretch further than any should, like for no reason.
That's not creepy.
No. The basement wasn't just another room in the house. It was the beating heart of her endless construction project. It was a place where workers toiled to keep the mansion's bizarre and ever-growing machinery running. It was home to the house's boilers, which provided heat to many of its rooms. The intricate system of gas lighting that Sarah installed throughout the mansion was also housed, like all the machinery, in the basement. Workers had to go down there daily, often after long hours, to maintain all the equipment to keep that size of a house running.
Especially 24 hours a day.
Right. One carpenter who spent several years working on the house claimed that he avoided the basement whenever possible. He described it as unnaturally cold, even on the hottest days. He said he always felt like he was being watched down there.
Oh, yeah. There were so many ghosts hanging out down there.
Yeah. That seems like it would be the hub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
They talk about how tools that they kept down there would disappear.
Shocking.
Mm-hmm. Another worker talked about how he heard footsteps echoing behind him almost every time when he was alone in the basement. He would think it was
thank you.
Right. He would think it was another member of the crew. He would call out. No one would answer. Then he said sometimes when he turned to look, he would see a shadowy figure standing at the end of the corridor.
Nope.
He swore the figure was wearing overalls.
Nope.
But when he stepped closer, it disappeared. Into the darkness. That figure in overalls is one of the most frequently reported ghosts in the Mystery House. Many believe that he's the spirit of a former worker, maybe somebody who died on the property. He was so tied to the house that he never truly left.
Did anyone die in the house?
That's a good question.
This house is making me think a lot of, again, another TV show because I watch too much TV. The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, I love that one.
I love that one. But there's a scene where they're talking about a worker who's working on a clock. And they're like, yeah, they're like, no one came to work on that clock.
Nope.
So I'm like picturing that guy when we're talking about
the worker in overalls.
Yeah. But I mean, another part of that show is that if you die there, then you stay there.
Right.
So I feel like that's...
This says the only person that died there was Sarah.
Okay.
She died in her bedroom on September 5th, 1922 at the age of 83.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But nobody that worked there is officially had died there.
But maybe they just came back.
Yeah. It says that because of around-the-clock construction for 38 years, accidents happened.
Yeah.
Someone possibly could have died after because of that accident.
Right.
But there are urban legends that suggest workers may have died due to falls, accidents with tools, or exhaustion. But there's nothing to back that up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. That figure in overalls, he's the most commonly reported, and people still see him today, often near the basement stairwell. They describe him as solid, a physical presence until he disappears.
So wild.
So not only is the basement creepy because of all of that, the layout itself is a labyrinth of dead ends, narrow passageways, and hidden corners. It's really easy to get lost down there, even with a guide. And if you're alone, you have no chance.
There's no way I would be alone in that basement.
No.
Like,
Nope.
No, thank you.
No. Should we move upstairs to the Hall of Fires?
Yes? The what?
I wish they could see your face.
Every time I'm like, wow, that's the most crazy part of this house. You're like, okay, let's talk about this place.
Yeah, I got more. All right, the Hall of Fires. It's unusual and it's perplexing. It has many fireplaces, and they all contain these large, ornate hearths. Hearths? How do you say that?
Hearths,
I
think.
Large, ornate hearths that are scattered throughout the space. Some of them seem oddly placed. So It's just chaotic. Like they're not evenly spaced.
That would stress me out.
Some don't have any practical purpose.
Why would they?
And this is located on the second floor of the mansion. It's known for its oppressive heat created by the sheer number of fireplaces that she insisted on building.
Did you say there are 13?
I don't have a number in here, though.
I'm just going to assume.
I'm going to assume there were 13, too. One theory is that it was purely functional, heating the sprawling mansion, with over 160 rooms. They had an elaborate heating system.
Yeah, heat rises. So it would have made more sense to put that on the first floor.
Agreed. Yeah, but this is the second.
Of course it is.
Yeah. The mysterious possibility is that some believe Sarah was afraid of the cold, not just the physical chill in the air, but just the symbolic cold associated with death.
Right.
In spiritualism, fire is often seen as a purifying force, a way to ward off evil, protect against malevolent spirits. So by filling the Hall of Fires with so many fireplaces.
Were those going 24 hours a day too?
No, not always.
Okay.
But still oppressively hot.
Yeah.
Some say that it was a ritualistic reason for putting it in.
Okay.
That she could have used the hall during her seances, lighting multiple fireplaces to create some kind of sacred or protective circle. There's no evidence, but people have tried to come up with theories to explain these things.
I mean, you see something like this and you want to try and make it logical.
Oh, I know, right?
But like you said, this is just chaos.
Right. None of it makes sense.
No. I'm sure to her it makes perfect sense, but I mean, we'll never know.
I so wish that she had kept a journal or a diary.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh. So I had to go back and look. 47 fireplaces.
47?
47.
Oh.
Not 48, not 50. 47. Some were never meant to be used. They're just for decoration.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They have expensive imported marble and tile on some of them. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool to see, though.
It really would be. I can't imagine 47 fireplaces in one room. I mean, that would have to be huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this one hall is bigger than my apartment.
Probably bigger than my house. There are stories from the Great Hall, and some say that it's one of the most unsettling areas of the mansion. Despite its name, many people report feeling an unnatural chill while walking in the hall, as if all the fires that once roared couldn't quite chase away the lingering presence of something else.
That's comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One worker claimed to hear the sound of logs being thrown into the fireplace while cleaning the hall, only to discover that all of the fireplaces were empty. A visitor reported seeing a faint glow from one of the fireplaces, even though they hadn't been lit in decades. People say they hear whispers, like low, distinct voices that rise and fall, and they hear phantom crackling of fireplaces in there.
Oh, that's so wild.
It is. You want to move on to the ballroom?
Of course.
Okay. The ground ballroom is one of the most striking and beautiful rooms in the Winchester Mystery House. It's located on the first floor. It's a space that seems designed for grandeur and celebration, but like a lot of the house, it's a lot of questions. At first glance, the ballroom feels like the heart of the home. It's got high ceilings, beautiful stained glass windows, ornate woodwork. It looks sophisticated, beautiful.
Did she ever have parties there?
No.
Okay.
No. Despite the grandeur, there's no record of the ballroom ever being used for its intended purpose. No parties, no music,
Sad.
no gatherings. It feels frozen in time, like you're waiting for an audience that never came.
Oh, that makes me really sad.
I know. It's really sad.
I mean, I'm glad she had like the construction workers there all the time, because otherwise I feel like that would be very lonely.
I wonder if that's why. I mean, I know the medium said she could never stop building, but I wonder if she also liked having people there.
Probably.
Never being alone.
Yeah, because especially if she thinks she's cursed, then
and being haunted.
Yeah, and everybody leaves at 5 o'clock every night. Then
what do you do until 7 a.m.?
Yeah,
right. The stained glass windows in the ballroom were designed by the prestigious Pacific American Decorative Company, and they've got really cryptic phrases on them. One of them's got Shakespeare on it. Wide unclasp the tables of their thoughts. Another one says, these same thoughts people this little world. Nobody knows what they mean or why she put them on there. You're going to like this. There's an organ in the ballroom.
Let me guess. Plays by itself.
Yeah, sometimes.
Of course it does.
Yeah. She would play the organ, and that's become legend. Some say she used the organ to communicate the organ. That sounded like an organ, like a body organ. Some say she used the organ to communicate with spirits. The deep tones would echo through the halls, and they say she used it to draw the attention of the supernatural. Others believed it was a way simply for her to find peace or solace in that labyrinth of a home. Visitors and staff have their own stories from the ballroom.
Of course.
Some hear that faint organ music coming from the room, even though the organ hasn't been played in decades. Others describe seeing a shadowy figure standing near the organ as if waiting for a long delayed performance to begin. The ballroom is just one of the wildest rooms to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make just such like an ornate room, like stained glass windows, giant organ.
Yeah.
Like that seems very specific.
I know, it almost feels like a church or something.
Yeah, maybe it was kind of like a church to her, you know.
Maybe it was
spiritualism.
Maybe it was supposed to be like the positive and counteracting the séance room.
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay, you want to talk about the spider web windows?
Of course I do.
Okay. Among all of the architectural curiosities at the Winchester Mystery House, The spider web windows stand out as some of the most intriguing and most puzzling features. They're intricate stained glass windows with delicate web-like designs, and they're scattered throughout the mansion. On the surface, it might seem just like another eccentric part of this house, but there's more than meets the eye. They're incredibly detailed. They
sound really cool.
I know. I'll show you a picture of them. They have symmetrical patterns that radiate outwards like a real spider's web, and the craftsmanship is extraordinary, suggesting that Sarah spared no expense in their design. But what was the purpose? Why a spider web? One theory is the design was purely decorative, a nod to the Victorian era's fascination with natural patterns and symmetry. Others believe the spiderweb motif had a deeper, more symbolic meaning. In spiritualism, spider webs are often seen as protective symbols, representing the interconnectedness of life and the universe. And because she was so involved in that, I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
They say they may have been a way to ward off negative energy or trap the spirits that she feared. The symbolism doesn't stop there. Some believe the spiderweb design reflects Sarah's own life. A web of guilt, a web of grief, superstition.
Yeah, that can make sense too. I think with how into spiritualism she was, I think for me, that one makes the most sense.
Yeah,
to try
I
and
agree.
Incorporate some of those details.
There are cryptic inscriptions. One of the most famous spiderweb windows features a series of numbers arranged in a seemingly random pattern. Scholars and historians have puzzled over this detail for years. Is it a code? Is it a reference to numerology?
No one's been able to crack it.
Not that I can find.
This is just giving me like so many questions.
I know, they're good questions too. I wish I had the answers to all of them.
I know what was going on.
I know, me too. I just wish she had journals.
Me too.
Can you imagine? I mean, you would find out why, and it might be a crazy reason that we've not even considered, right? Or that, other people that visit.
It would be crazy if one time someone's like going through the house and all of a sudden they find like some secret compartment with like all the notes and stuff.
That's like the dream, right?
I know.
Because it was sold and then opened pretty quickly to the public. So you would think out of, 24,000 square feet, you would think there are places.
Has every inch been explored?
I don't know. Do you want to explore every inch? That's also a little bit eerie.
To be fair, I don't think I'd want to go in the basement.
No. And that could be where it's hidden too.
Maybe. Yeah.
So dark down there.
Yeah.
It said that visitors, when they go to the house, are just like drawn to these spiderweb windows. They're drawn to the intricate designs and the light moves in mesmerizing ways. But then they describe an eerie feeling of being watched, as if the windows themselves are observing the visitors.
Maybe the spirits are trapped in there.
Oh, yes, like a spider web catching. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Staff members also report strange occurrences near the windows. One guide claimed to hear the faint sound of whispering while she was cleaning a room that featured the spiderweb windows, or one of them. They're scattered throughout the house in no clear way. Another describes seeing a shadow pass across the glass, even though no one was outside.
That's wild.
The Winchester house is more than just a collection of odd rooms, twisting hallways, and dead ends. It's a monument to mystery itself. Now, for over a century, people have speculated about what this house truly represents. Was it the result of grief or guilt or madness or something else entirely? A masterpiece maybe designed to confuse the spirits of the dead?
So many theories. Then it could be anything.
Yeah, because she never talked about it.
And maybe she was just like, you know what? This is what I'm feeling like doing today. She had enough money. She wanted to spend it. Like, cool. Let's just keep making stuff.
Yeah. I would love to know the price tag.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Like how much she spent to build it,
And what that would equate to in today's money.
Yeah. That too.
Millions.
Yes. I can't even. She had so much that was imported and some of the best materials to make this house too. It wasn't just, yeah. Questions loom, of course. There's the question of Sarah herself. She was immensely wealthy and intelligent, but deeply private. People wonder if she was truly haunted by the spirits of those killed by the Winchester rifles, or was her grief some kind of psychological haunting, maybe to fill the void left by her husband and her daughter. Some historians believe the house was Sarah's way of coping with her trauma, a project to give her life structure and purpose, albeit chaotic structure.
You know, if it makes sense to her, who am I to judge?
Exactly. Yeah, I wish I knew.
Me too.
There's the question of the house's purpose, the endless construction, the staircase to nowhere, the hidden doors, secret passageways. Were they really meant to confuse and trap spirits? I don't know. If so, why do so many of the house's design choices seem to defy logic even by supernatural standards? For example, the house includes several rooms that were built and then immediately sealed off, never to be used.
Maybe a spirit was living in there.
I was wondering that too.
Let's not disturb them.
Was Sarah following the instructions of the spirits? Or was she testing ideas, experimenting with designs, abandoning them if they didn't feel right? The number 13 appearing throughout the house, the number of stairs, the number of hooks, even the number of window panes in the window, or like the chandelier we mentioned. Was it her way of creating a protective charm? Was it a personal obsession that became part of the house's lore? And then there's the most haunting mystery of all, the spirits themselves. Did Sarah truly believe she was being haunted, and if so, by whom? What if the spirits are a metaphor, a way for Sarah to externalize the pain and guilt she carried? Maybe by blaming the ghosts, she could avoid blaming herself. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like none of these questions are ever going to have answers.
Agreed.
There's no way to get answers unless
you find wherever she secretly hid all of her.
No, I was going to say unless we have a séance.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. But I feel like if someone listening wants to, if you could let me know, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, because I don't want to mess with that.
I know.
I don't need that. But if someone else is more curious than I am, please let us know.
my little one asked for a Ouija board, and I said, nope. More than that. Absolutely not. Never. No way.
That is not coming into my house. No.
I don't mess with that. I would need sage just to have that in my house. So today, the Winchester Mystery House stands as one of America's most iconic landmarks, a place where history, architecture, and the supernatural collide. It's no longer the private retreat of Sarah Winchester, but a museum, a tourist attraction, and a living piece of folklore. The mansion has been meticulously preserved, offering visitors a glimpse into Sarah's world. Walking through its halls today, you can almost feel her presence in the intricate details of the house, the custom woodwork, the ornate stained glass, and the endless twists and turns of its layout.
I'm so glad that no one bought it and tore it down. I'm so glad that they preserved it.
Me too, because it's on, she had 161 acres.
Yeah.
It doesn't obviously cover that, but
close.
Yeah, right. Oh, you want to know what's weird? When we said there were 47 fireplaces, there's also 47 staircases.
Now I need to know the symbolism of that number.
I know. We'll have to look that up.
I was trying to do math in my head. I'm like, is that a multiple of 13? But no.
It's not. I did the same thing. It's not. It's 52 or 39. I already did that.
At least we're on the same page.
Absolutely. So, like we mentioned at the beginning, it's 24,000 square feet, 160 rooms, 10,000 windows, just countless architectural oddities.
That 10,000 windows just blows my mind.
I just think about having to keep them clean. I could never do it. I'm so bad in the first place. When you visit, you can explore the staircase to nowhere, the door to nowhere, the séance room, the great hall, ballroom, the fire room.
You could spend all day in there and not see everything in that house.
Absolutely.
Especially like 6 miles trying to walk around.
Yes. That fact alone blows my mind.
Yeah.
So even today, visitors and staff report the cold spots, the mysterious footsteps, the organ and the piano music. And one of the most famous sightings still is the ghostly figure in overalls.
Okay, but what if the organ is like a ghost of Mr. Chicken type situation? Like, what if someone's living in the house?
Oh, there you go.
Like in all of the secret passageways, and
I
like
love that
secretly
movie.
comes out and plays the organ. he's just in there like messing with everybody. He's just trolling everybody.
Yes,
I would love that
because that would also account for some of the footsteps too.
Yeah. He's just hiding in these secret passageways, and he just comes out and he trolls people, and then he goes and hides again.
Yeah,
He's just like, he has the best job.
I mean, I like that explanation because it makes sense in my brain.
I know, it makes sense to me too.
I gotta watch that again. You can also go to special events throughout the year at the Winchester Mystery House. During Halloween,
Yes.
it transforms into a haunted attraction complete with actors and eerie lighting.
Oh.
At Christmas, it's adorned with festive decorations, creating a strange but beautiful contrast between the cheerful holiday spirit and the haunting atmosphere of the house.
It's like when Disney changes the Haunted Mansion to be like the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Like this creepy ride, and then, here's Santa.
Right? I know. I don't like when those two collide.
Yeah.
I like the Halloween side. I like Christmas, but the mansion also offers nighttime flashlight tours.
No.
You can explore the house after dark with only a flashlight to guide you.
No. Just no.
Oh.
As soon as that sun starts setting, I am getting out of there.
Uh-huh.
No
Absolutely.
chance. Like, I don't know what it is. Because there's no way that it's less haunted during the day than it is at night. But if it's dark outside, like, it just adds the extra scary. I'm good.
Especially with only a flashlight.
Yeah, no.
It's because there are a lot of rooms that don't have windows, and you've got secret passageways. You've got the basement. I mean,
how many people go missing in that house a year? Like
none.
Okay, that seems fake, but okay. I feel like you would never come out.
I agreed.
Oh, I fell
maybe a couple days
passageway, and I can't find my way out of this house. 2 years later, still there.
Yeah.
No.
I don't need to do that either.
That's not happening.
I kind of want to go at Christmas.
That would be fun to see.
I know, because it would probably be so beautifully decorated, but also still so spooky.
Just like that juxtaposition of like the beautiful Christmas decor.
Yep. And
everything haunted.
Yep. You've got the spiderweb windows at you. And
I don't think I would want to go during Halloween when there's like the actors and stuff there. Just because I want to like experience it as is.
Agreed.
Like, that's creepy enough. I don't need people chasing me down the 6 miles of like I can't run that far or that fast. So like I'm set.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, maybe Christmas.
Christmas sounds better.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the Winchester Mystery House.
Okay, thank you for giving me 500 questions.
You are welcome. I also don't have answers to probably most of them.
All right. Well, join us in a year at Christmas time for a special edition of Crime Clueless in the Wild.
Oh, I wish.
You never know.
Yeah. I mean, we also need to go to Lizzie Borden's house too. We'll cover that. Yeah.
Not gonna be next. I don't know what that is.
Also very spooky, but on the East Coast.
Okay.
So
probably not the same day then.
No. Different days. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of Crime Clueless. We appreciate it. We hope you liked our spooky, haunted episode. I like those things. Kayla likes those things.
Yes, I do.
We wanted to dig in. We'll do more. Let us know if you have one we should cover. If you get a chance, follow us on our social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Just search for @CrimeClueless. We'd love to hear from you if you have any stories of your own.
Yes.
About true crime or spooky stuff or anything that's happened,
send it over. I clearly need to know more.
I do too. Email us at crimeclueless@gmail.com. And remember, refuse to be clueless, careless, or caught off guard.
Not today, murderers.
Bye.
Bye.